budgetary control ਜਿਹੜਾ ਅਸੀਂ ਕੱਲ discuss ਕੀਤਾ ਸੀ. So today we will be discussing something about budgetary control, how it works. Secondly, we will be discussing about the type of fixed budget and flexible budget, and the budget in which the information are static, the budget in which the information cannot be molded to have the budgetary figure for different levels of activities on उसी static budget कह देंगे हैं, and the budget estimates in which the information is such that we can mold the information for different level of activities on उसी flexible budget कह देंगे हैं. So this will be the discussion topic of today's. So budgetary control with the fixed versus flexible budgeting. So that we'll be discussing today. So let's come to the topic straightway. So first we will be briefly discussing about the budgetary control. Yesterday also we discussed about it, that basically budgetary control is a system of planning and accounting control through the use of the budget. Here the budget is used as an instrument. As an instrument mean that we take the various steps to first estimate the various quantitative figures for the future regarding the cost of production or cost of services, and then we use it as an instrument to control the cost which are actually going to happen. So it is defined as the establishment of the budget relating to responsibilities of the executives to the requirements of the policy, and the continuous comparison of actual with the budgeted results, either to secured by the individual action, the objective of that policy, or to provide a basis for its revision. Now in an organization, there are a number of people who works in the organization. They are known as executives, and every executive has responsibility. For example, as far as I am concerned, I am a professor in a college. Now as a professor in the college, we have been assigned certain executive duties, certain administrative duties, certain academic duties. Now for each and every academic duties, we have been given the targets. That targets are reflected in quantitative terms. That means in terms of the number of students and in terms of the percentage of their results. So these are the budgetary estimates for the future. They are also, for example, I have been given certain administrative duties, then along with the administrative duties, certain quantitative figure that how much I can spend for imparting the education, how much I can spend for performing the duties to prepare the various reports. All these things are given to me. Now when I actually spend this, I will take a barometer. These figures I will take a barometer, and accordingly I will work. And finally, when actual amount I will spend, then that actual amount is compared with the estimates which are already prepared, and the deviations are found. If there is any deviation, that deviation may be in the more or less cost. That deviation may be that I have not I have accomplished the various targets, or whether I have not accomplished the various targets. So all these figures are compared and the deviations are found. Deviation may be positive or negative. If deviations are positive, that means that you are spending lesser cost than the budgetary cost. Now there are two reasons. Number one reason is that your budgetary process may be faulty, that your estimates were wrong. You have more estimation than the actual cost, so that's why that needs correction. But second reason is that the executive has worked efficiently and they are in a position to control the cost. That's why the lesser cost has been incurred. Then it is the responsibility of the organization to take stock of that situation and appreciate the people who are responsible for it. On the other hand, if the deviations are negative, that means the actual costs are more than the budgetary cost, then it means some corrective actions are needed to tell the executive that you have gone wrong. Your process of working was wrong. So therefore, the responsibility is fixed, and so that in future nothing can wrong happen in the organization, and you work smoothly and able to control the cost. So this is the basic purpose of the budgetary control. So when we prepare the budgets, there is very important factor which is known as a limiting factor. Basically, limiting factor is the key factor which at a particular time or over a period of time will limit the activities of an undertaking. For example, most of the organizations, sale is a limiting factor. In certain manufacturing organization, production is a limiting factor. So what is the limiting factor which will restrict your activities, which will all your system will revolve around that activities or that factor, that is known as a limiting factor. So in some organization, for example, raw material may be a limiting factor. Some in organization, skilled labor may be a limiting factor. In some organization, machine capacity may be a limiting factor. In some organization, financial sources such as working capital may be a limiting factor. These are known as principal budget factor or key factor. So limiting factor is that factor which restrict your activities. If you have abundance of working hours with machine and labor, but you have limited raw material, it means your limiting factor will be raw material here. Now if you have abundance raw material, no scarcity of the labor, you can do everything, machine hours are unlimited available, but you cannot go beyond a particular line of action for sale. That means your sale cannot be more than that particular factor, then sale will become the limiting factor. So what is the limiting factor? That will depend upon the circumstances of the each case. So we have to find out the limiting factor first, and then all our activities will revolve around that. So limiting factor is also known as principal budget factor, or it is also known as the key factor. Now the basic purpose of budgetary control is to investigate the budget variances. Budget variances are that budgetary estimates minus actual figures that will tell you the budgetary variances. So investigation of budget variances are the very important factor in the budget.
Class ਲੱਗਿਆ ਜੀ
So variances may have three causes.
ਮੇਰਾ class ਲੱਗਿਆ ਜੀ class ਲੱਗਿਆ ਜੀ
So I usually suggest to all of you that when you attend the class, please mute yourself so that the voices of your family should not reach to us. It disturbs very heavily. So I have taken note of that. So in future, please take care. So in investigating the budgetary variances, variances may have three causes. May be ill-conceived, that means the budget estimates were not actually correct. The budget preparation was faulty. Secondly, the conditions on which the budgetary estimates were prepared may have changed over a period of time. And thirdly, job performance is either efficient or either faulty. That may cause variances. So variances mean deviation from actual to the budget. So there may be three reasons. Maybe budgets may be ill-conceived, or conditions under which the budgets were prepared, they may have changed, or the job performance either may be faulty or may be efficient. So we have to investigate what are the reasons of variances, whether budgets were ill-conceived, whether conditions has changed, or whether the job performance is efficient or inefficient. So variances should be investigated. So it is the management by exception that is an approach that is economical and often used. So management should focus on only analyzing the variances, because if they will be involved in other functions and may not be able to focus on this particular area. So this is a very economic approach, and often it is used. So only exceptional variances are investigated. If there are minor differences, minor variances which may be avoided, you may not take much corrective action for on that. Only exceptional variances where too high cost is there, actual too high cost is there, then you have need to investigate all these figures. So investigation of the budget variance is very important. Now let's come to the fixed versus flexible budget. So there are two kinds of budgets which are usually used in an organization. One is fixed budget and another is flexible budget. Basically, Fixed budget is designed to remain unchanged irrespective of the volume of output or turnover attained. So the figures are not classified as fixed cost, variable cost, or semi-variable cost. So basically, we are in a position to know what is the total material cost, what is the total labor cost, what is the total overheads. So the figures are not segregated in fixed cost or variable cost or semi-variable cost. So in this kind of budget, you prepare the budget only one level of activities, and informations are such designed that you cannot calculate the figures for another level of activities. For example, if you have prepared a budget for 5,000 units, information are not segregated into fixed, variable or semi-variable, then you cannot calculate the budgetary estimates for 6,000 level of activity or 7,000 level of activity. So a fixed budget is designed to remain unchanged irrespective of the volume of output or turnover attained. The budget remains fixed over a given period and does not change with the change in the volume of production or level of activity attained. Normally, such budget is prepared in respect of expenses of fixed nature. There is no variability in the expenses. Under such circumstances, this fixed kind of budgets are used. As such, this budget is of limited practical applications, or particularly in the industry or in the services sector, where you have to quote the prices for the different levels of the activities, and you have to work in different circumstances for different levels of activity. Such kind of budgeting is rarely used, and these particular kind of budget is used in case of the organization where mostly all of the expenses are fixed nature and the variability is not there among the expenditure. You may work to the any level of activity, but the nature of expenses remains fixed. So in such situation, you can use the fixed budgeting. Second kind of budgeting which is used is a flexible budgeting. So in flexible budget, by recognizing the difference between behavior of fixed and variable cost in relation to the fluctuation in the output. So we are in a position under such circumstances, the information is such that we are in a position to calculate the variability in the expenses in different levels of the activities. So under such circumstances, some costs are remain fixed. They do not change with the change in the level of output. They are known as fixed expenses, but some expenses are there. They will vary with the level of activity. For example, if you are producing 5,000 units, the expenses will be different. But if you work for the 6,000, they will proportionately increase, or you work for the 7,000 unit, your expenses will proportionately increase. Or if you reduce the output, the expenses will proportionately reduce. So such kind of situations under which you can calculate the expenditure or the cost and segregate them in fixed and variable costs in relation to the fluctuation in output or turnover, that is known as a flexible budget. So flexible budget changes according to the level of activity. So under such situation, flexible budget is also called variable budgeting or slide scale budgeting. The concept of cost variable give rise to three categories of the cost. One is fixed cost, second is variable cost, and third is semi-variable cost. So under such situations, the cost can be segregated into fixed cost, variable cost, and semi-variable cost. There are two methods for preparing the budget under flexible budgeting system. One is formula method and another is multi-level activity or a tabular method. And mostly we use the multi-activity or a tabular method for that. For example, if you want to prepare the budget under the formula method, this slide will explain you. Before the budget period, a budget is prepared for the normal level of activity. For example, under normal situation, how many units you usually produce, you will find out the cost of fixed cost and variable cost, and you calculate the variable cost per unit. So at the end of the budget period, the actual output and the actual level of activity will be ascertained, and the variable cost be allowed for actual output is calculated and added to the fixed cost to obtain the budget cost allowance. So actual expenses are compared against allowed cost. For example, fixed cost will remain same and the variable cost we will calculate cost of per unit of activity multiplied by the activity level. If you are producing 5,000 units, so 5,000 multiplied by, if the per unit cost is 5, so you will multiply it. So fixed cost plus variable cost will become the total budget cost. So express as a formula as allowance cost. So fixed cost plus actual units of output multiplied by variable cost per unit. But this method has a limited application because here the segregation is not given for every concept of the cost, every element of the cost. So therefore, that's why, though it is very helpful in quoting the prices of any quotation or for quoting in the market to get orders. So, but because of the limited applications or limited kind of understandability, this method is usually not used. For example, let us have an illustration. Budgeted output is 8,000 per unit. Budgeted fixed overhead are 40,000 per month. Budgeted variable cost are rupees 5 per unit. Budgeted overheads are 80,000 per month, and actual output you have produced is 7,000 units. So now we will calculate the cost here. Fixed cost is 40,000 plus variable cost. Variable cost will become 7,000 units you have produced multiplied by budgeted variable cost are 5 per unit. So it means 40,000 plus 7,000 multiplied by 5, 35,000. So 75,000 will be your cost. So it will be compared with the 80,000, which is the actual budgeted figures. So 5,000 will be the variance, that is the negative cost for which we have to fix the responsibility. So under this method, we have just used a formula first to calculate the per unit cost, then multiplied it with the number of units produced. That becomes the variable cost, and the fixed cost is added to that, and you calculate the total cost. Then it is compared with the budgetary estimates which were planned earlier. So then the variances are find out. So this is the methodology under the formula method. Now multi-level activity method. So second method which is used is a multi-level activity method, which involves the preparation of a budget for all major level of activities. For example, if you are working for 5,000 units, you may calculate the figure for 6,000 units, for 7,000 units, for 8,000 units, or for 4,000 units, for 3,000 units, or 2,000 units. So when the actual output is known at the end of the budget period, the allowed costs are computed either by adopting the budget of the given level or next higher level of activity, or by interpolating between the budget of activity levels on either side of the actual level of activity. So that means if you have a actual level of activity output is 5,000 units, and you want the figures for 6,000 units, 7,000 units, 8,000 units, or downslide 3,000 unit, 2,000 unit, or 1,000 unit, you can calculate. So under such situation, the items of various costs, elements of the various costs are segregated into three segments, that is fixed cost, variable cost, and semi-variable cost. So accordingly, because this information is available, you can calculate the figures for the different level of the activity or multi-level of activities. So let's take an example. For example, raw material cost is given 10 per unit. Direct wages cost is 8 per unit. Direct expenses are 2 per unit. Variable overheads are 3 per unit. So this is the information given to us. Similarly, in notes, semi-variable overheads at 100% level of activity are 4,000. And these overhead vary in steps for 2,000 for each change of 1,000 units. When you increase to the 11,000 units, then it cost will be 42,000. If it is 12,000 units, again 2,000 will increase. So these are the semi-variable expenses. So fixed overheads are estimated at 50,000. This is given to us. Selling price is to be 40. So prepare the flexible budget for 50% level of activity, 70% of level of activity, and 90% level of activity. Now here the normal level of activity is 10,000 units, which is known as 100%. If I talk about 50%, mean we'll be preparing the budget for 5,000. If we have to work at 70,000, then you have to prepare this for 7,000 units. If you have to prepare for 90% level of activity, you have to prepare the budget for 9,000 units. So here you have been asked to calculate the budget, prepare the budget for 5,000 units, 7,000 units, and 9,000 units. So let's take it. So we have here period, normal levels, capacity 50%, 5,000 units will be there. For 70%, 7,000 units will be there. And for 90%, 9,000 units will be there. So now for each level of activity, we will prepare the cost sheet as we have already discussed it. So first thing is that you have to calculate the direct raw material, because we have to calculate the prime cost. So direct raw material is rupees 10 per unit. So here direct raw material, if you are producing 5,000 units, multiplied by 10, 50,000. For 7,000 unit, multiplied by 10, 70,000. For 9,000 unit, multiplied by 10, 90,000. So similarly, you have to calculate the direct wages. 8 per unit is given. So 5,000 multiplied by 8, 40,000. 7,000 multiplied by 8, 56,000. 9,000 multiplied by 8, 72,000. Similarly, you have the figure with direct expenses. 2 per unit is there. So number of units are there. So we will multiply it with the 2, and 10,000, 14,000 and 18,000 figure will be there. So direct material, direct wages, direct expenses cost is added, and it will become the prime cost. Now, in the question, you have been given variable overhead 3 per unit. So we will add these variable overheads in the prime cost. So it is given as 3 per unit. So 5,000 multiplied by 3 variable overheads. So it is not 3, it is 5 per unit. You can correct it. So 5 per unit, 5,000 multiplied by 5, 25,000. 7,000 multiplied by 5, 35,000. 9,000 multiplied by 5, 45,000. Then it becomes the marginal cost. So you can add it prime cost plus 25,000, 140 plus 35,000, 180 plus 25, 25,000. So here the marginal cost is also calculated from here also. For example, it is written there that if you work at, for example, variable overhead 3 here is given. Here you can calculate for 1,000 level of activity. For increase in 1,000 level of activity, 2,000 will be the change in the output. It means here if you have taken 5 as a variable overhead, it means 1,000, 2,000 divided by 1,000, that is 2. So in semi-variable overhead, 2 rupees variable overheads are. That's why it is given 3 plus 2. So that's why we have calculated with 5, not only 3. 3 plus 2 becomes the variable cost. So it becomes the marginal cost of 1,25,000, 1,75,000 and 2,25,000. Then sales figure are given to you. So sales price of the sale is given. It is mentioned that selling price per unit is 40. So you can calculate the sale from here. 5,000 multiplied by 40, 2 lakh. 7,000 multiplied by 40, 2 lakh 80,000. 9,000 multiplied by 43 lakh 60,000. So sales minus marginal cost will become the contribution. 75,000, that is 2 lakh minus 1 lakh 25,000. Similarly, 2 lakh 80,000 minus the variable cost. So sales 2 lakh 80,000 minus 1 lakh 75,000, 1 lakh 5,000. Similarly, 3 lakh 60,000 minus 2 lakh 25,000. 1,35,000. So this becomes a contribution. Now you have to calculate the fixed cost. Now fixed cost, there are two kinds of fixed costs which are given in this question. One is fixed overhead, that is estimated to be 50,000, and one is fixed overhead which are in the semi-variable overhead. So we will add both of them. So here, if you find out here, semi-variable overhead at 100% level activities are 10,000 and expected to be 40,000. So if you are working at the 5,000 units, so it means in 40,000, 10,000 are variable. So 40,000 minus 10,000, 30,000. 30,000 plus fixed overhead that is given to us. 50,000 is fixed overhead. So if you are working at the 5,000, then 4 rupees semi-variable expenses will be there. 40,000 divided by 10,000, 4. So 5,000 यूनिट दे उत्ते 20,000 वो होंगे, ਉਹ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਲੈਸ ਕਰ ਦਿਓਗੇ 20,000 plus 50,000 70,000 ਸਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ ਫਿਕਸਡ ਓਵਰਹੈਡ ਆ ਜਾਣਗੇ। ਸੋ ਫਿਕਸਡ ਓਵਰਹੈਡ ਵਿਲ ਰਿਮੇਨ ਸੇਮ ਐਟ ਐਵਰੀ ਲੈਵਲ ਆਫ ਐਕਟੀਵਿਟੀ, ਚਾਹੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ 7,000 ਤੇ ਵਰਕ ਕਰੋ ਚਾਹੇ 9,000 ਤੇ ਵਰਕ ਕਰੋ। ਸੋ 70,000 ਵਿਲ ਬੀ ਫਿਕਸਡ ਓਵਰਹੈਡ। ਸੋ ਪ੍ਰੋਫਿਟ ਯੂ ਕੈਨ ਕੈਲਕੂਲੇਟ ਕੰਟਰੀਬਿਊਸ਼ਨ ਮਾਈਨਸ fixed overhead 5,000, 35,000 and 65,000. So in this way, this has been given in the working note also. So variable cost per unit is 2,000 divided by 1,000 in semi variable expenses, that is 2 per unit, and fixed cost ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੈ total semi variable expenses ਜਿਹੜੇ 40,000 ਹੈ minus ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਹਰ 1,000 ਯੂਨਿਟ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਦੋ ਅਸੀਂ 2,000 expenses ਜਿਹੜੇ ਉਹ variable ਹੈ। So 10,000 at the rate of 2,000, so 20,000 will be the fixed cost. So in this way the fixed cost is calculated, or that is the budget which is prepared for the different level of the activity. So first we will calculate the prime cost, then we will calculate the variable cost, that will become the marginal cost, because all components of the prime cost plus variable overhead becomes the marginal cost. Then we deduct it from the sales, that will become the contribution, and from contribution we will deduct the fixed overhead, that will become the profit. So in this way the flexible budget is prepared for different level of activities at 50% level, at 70% level, and 90% level. We are in a position to calculate it because the information can be segregated into fixed, variable, and semi-variable expenses. If we are not in a position to do that, that is static budget. So therefore, because the flexibility is there to calculate the information for different levels of the activity, that's why it is called flexible budget. So for example, for manufacturing level of activities, you may calculate the budget for 10,000 level of activities, 12,000 level of activities. So you can calculate the total budget cost line, variable cost line, and fixed budget cost line. So if you similarly, for example, prepare present these figures on the basis of, for example, if you want to present it on the graph for 5,000 level of activity, 7,000, 9,000. So you can find out, place the figures of prime cost, marginal cost, contribution, and profit on the graph and see the differences, how much is this increasing or decreasing. So similarly, this question is before you, you can note it down. This for the following flexible budget of production, 40,000 units, 60,000 units, and 70,000 units of production, you have to calculate. So मैं presentation ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਮੇਲ ਕਰ ਦਿੰਦਾ Google group ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ, ਉੱਥੋਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇਹ question copy ਕਰਕੇ then you can solve it. So you have to calculate the figures for 40,000 units, 60,000 units, and 70,000 units. So usually this budget is prepared for different levels of the activities. So that was all today for fixed level of budgeting and flexible level of budgeting. Now you can on your videos, and if you have any question, you can ask. Yes, any question?
No, sir.
सर ये चैप्टर थ्योरी के लिए इम्पोर्टेंट है या प्रैक्टिकल के लिए?
ਇਹਦੇ ਚੋਂ ਪ੍ਰੈਕਟੀਕਲ ਵੀ ਆ ਸਕਦਾ, ਇਸ ਚੈਪਟਰ ਚੋਂ ਪ੍ਰੈਕਟੀਕਲ ਵੀ ਆ ਸਕਦਾ ਔਰ ਆ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਪ੍ਰੈਕਟੀਕਲ, ਔਰ ਫਲੈਕਸੀਬਲ ਬਜਟਿੰਗ ਦਾ ਇੱਕ ਕੁਐਸਚਨ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਆਏਗਾ। ਥਿਊਰੀ ਦਾ ਵੀ ਆ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਕੁਐਸਚਨ, ਪ੍ਰੈਕਟੀਕਲ ਦਾ ਵੀ ਆ ਜਾਂਦਾ, both are important. Yes, any other person?
Sir, ਇਹ ਐਗਜ਼ਾਮ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ ਇਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ 50% ਥਿਊਰੀ ਐਂਡ 50%
ਨੋ। ਪੋਸਟ ਗ੍ਰੈਜੂਏਸ਼ਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਿਸੇ ਵੀ ਪੇਪਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੋਈ 50% ਦੀ ਕੰਡੀਸ਼ਨ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ। ਈਵਨ ਪ੍ਰੈਕਟੀਕਲ ਪੇਪਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਾਰੇ 10 ਦੇ 10 ਕੁਐਸਚਨ ਥਿਊਰੀ ਦੇ ਵੀ ਆ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਆ, ਔਰ ਜੇ ਐਗਜ਼ਾਮੀਨਰ ਚਾਹੇ ਤਾਂ ਸਾਰੇ 10 ਦੇ 10 ਕੁਐਸਚਨ ਪ੍ਰੈਕਟੀਕਲ ਵੀ ਪਾ ਸਕਦਾ। ਸੋ ਦੇयर इज नो डिस्टिंग्विश बिटवीन 50% ਪ੍ਰੈਕਟੀਕਲ ਔਰ 50% ਥਿਊਰੀ। ਸੋ ਪਿਛਲੇ ਸਾਲਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਈ ਸਾਲਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਾਰੇ ਦੇ ਸਾਰੇ ਥਿਊਰੀ ਵੀ ਆਏ ਹੋਏ ਆ ਤੇ ਕੁਝ ਪ੍ਰੈਕਟੀਕਲ ਵੀ ਆਏ। 100% ਪ੍ਰੈਕਟੀਕਲ ਤਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਇਆ ਕਦੀ, ਲੇਕਿਨ ਕਈ ਵਾਰ ਐਗਜ਼ਾਮੀਨਰ ਦੀ ਮਰਜ਼ੀ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਡਿਪੈਂਡ ਕਰਦਾ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਸਾਰੇ ਦੇ ਸਾਰੇ ਕੁਐਸਚਨ ਥਿਊਰੀ ਦੇ ਵੀ ਪਾ ਸਕਦਾ। ਪ੍ਰੈਕਟੀਕਲ ਦੀ 50% ਦੀ ਕੋਈ ਕੰਡੀਸ਼ਨ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ, ਉਹ ਬੀਕਾਮ ਲੈਵਲ ਤੇ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ, ਪੋਸਟ ਗ੍ਰੈਜੂਏਸ਼ਨ ਲੈਵਲ ਤੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦੀ। ਐਨੀ ਅਦਰ ਥਿੰਗ?
ਸਰ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ ਪਿਛਲੇ ਸਾਲਾਂ ਦੇ ਕੁਐਸਚਨ ਪੇਪਰਸ ਪਏ ਹੋਣਗੇ?
ਪਿਛਲੇ ਸਾਲਾਂ ਦੇ ਕੁਐਸਚਨ ਪੇਪਰ ਜਦੋਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਾਲਜ ਆਓਗੇ ਤੇ ਲਾਇਬ੍ਰੇਰੀ 'ਚ ਪਏ ਹੋਣਗੇ, ਉੱਥੋਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਮਿਲ ਜਾਣਗੇ।
ਠੀਕ ਹੈ ਸਰ, ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ ਸਰ।
ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ ਸਰ।
Okay, now you can leave so that others can join.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, ji.